Review copy provided by NIS America. Trigger Happy Havoc Danganronpa and Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair released years back on the PlayStation Vita to immensely positive critical and fan reactions. If you ask any hardcore fan of the Vita, they'll tell you the killer apps for the system were Persona 4 Golden and the Danganronpa series. I personally never owned a PlayStation Vita, so much to my delight a while back, I was pleased to hear that the two beloved titles would soon make their way to the PS4 in the form of Danganronpa 1-2 Reload. For any fan of murder mysteries, Japanese entertainment, high school hijinks, and Tarantino-level twisted humor, the series known as Danganronpa will no doubt carve a special place in your heart as it did mine. In Trigger Happy Havoc, you play as Makoto Naegi, a high school student who is selected to attend Hope's Peak Academy, the top tier of the top tier, only admitting a few students into its walls of the elite. Each prospective student to be selected is the ultimate in their respective skill set. For example, you meet Leon Kuwata, the ultimate baseball star, Aoi Asahina, the ultimate swimming pro, and Hifumi Yamada, the ultimate fanfiction creator. So, what is Makoto? Well, he's the ultimate lucky student, as he was selected from a batch of completely normal, average high school kids to attend Hope's Peak. But on the first day of school, he realizes he's in the worst experience of his life after meeting the psychotic headmaster, Monokuma. Monokuma is the iconic white and black bear that serves as a mascot for both the game and Hope's Peak Academy. Monokuma is written to be incredibly witty, annoying, yet lovable, and purely exists to ruin the day of you and your classmates, provoking you all to murder each other. The basic premise for the game is as follows. You and 14 other students are locked into Hope's Peak and told by your headmaster that you'll spend the rest of your lives in the walls of the school and can only graduate and leave if you murder a fellow classmate and get away with it without being caught. If you can successfully do this, you walk free, and the rest of your clueless classmates get punished in unique ways thought up by that sadistic bear. So there isn't much else I can explain about the story in the first game other than its initial premise, since both titles are story-focused as their main selling points, like all visual novels. Further delving into the story will enter spoiler territory, but what I can say is as a piece of entertainment, Trigger Happy Havoc is the visual novel equivalent of a page-turner, but it can sometimes be a bit too ambitious and convoluted for its own good. But it is a Japanese game, so we should probably expect that going in. Split into 6 chapters and an epilogue, I was barely able to put down my controller from the day I got my code. Each chapter ranges from 2 to 6 hours depending on your speed as a reader and comprehension of the mechanics the game teaches you early on. The main gameplay of Danganronpa can be boiled down into 3 subsections: free time, investigation, and the class trials. Free time plays out like a dating sim. You as Makoto are occasionally given periods of time to bond with your fellow classmates without the threat of death constantly looming. Here you get to interact and learn about your classmates, forging friendships, exploring the school, collecting Monokuma coins to spend in the school store, and giving gifts to your new friends as you grow closer. Investigations begin when a body is found by 3 or more students and play out as Makoto gathers evidence, trying to deduce who done it, in the words of Monokuma. Evidence can be scattered throughout the school, and more locations begin to unlock as each culprit is caught, allowing you to discover the secrets of Hope's Peak. These 2 modes of exploring what the game has to offer comes to a climax in the final act of each chapter, the class trial. Class trials work in a fluid manner, offering several different minigames to sort through evidence and discuss with your classmates to find out who the culprit is. From making your argument and sniping fallacies, to the quick trigger hangman's gambit, a rhythm-based shouting game, and more, the class trials supply hours worth of gameplay. The shortest class trial I experienced was somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour, whereas the longest one was upwards of 3 hours. What surprised me the most in Danganronpa is how attached you become to certain characters as the game progresses, like a great TV show. The first death of a classmate isn't as weighty as a classmate who you may have spent all your free time with, or one you admired but simply never had the chance to see all that often. When it comes to Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, if you enjoyed the first game, you'll no doubt love the sequel even more, with a new cast of ultimates and a new player character. Following a similar premise to the previous game, Danganronpa 2 puts players in control of Hajime Hanata, a boy suffering from amnesia who has just become an ultimate at Hope's Peak Academy, alongside 15 other students. The classmates find themselves taken to the remote Jabberwock Island by their teacher, a small pink rabbit named Usami, who claims it to be a simple field trip. It all turns out to be a lost cause when Hope's Peak's headmaster, Monokuma, announces they are stuck on the island for life, unless they can murder another student and get away with it. Sound familiar? In terms of gameplay, Goodbye Despair offers a host of improvements over the first title, streamlining certain aspects while fleshing out others. Various new gameplay elements have been added to the class trials this time around. Rebuttal showdowns take place when a student attempts to refute the player's logic. Logic Dive is a snowboarding minigame in which players steer down a logical tube whilst avoiding obstacles and pitfalls, just to name a few. New to the package of 1-2 Reload, but not to the franchise in general, is School Mode. Here you get to walk the halls of Hope's Peak and delegate tasks to your schoolmates over the course of 50 days to build replicas of Monokuma. Here you get more involved dating sim aspects where you actually bring classmates on specific dates, learn more about them, and further your relationships based on how well you've come to know them. This game mode has also been present in the form of Island mode since Goodbye Despair launched on the Vita. Goodbye Despair also features Danganronpa If, a short narrative depicting an alternate storyline for what could have happened in Trigger Happy Havoc, unlocked by beating the game once. If nothing else, Danganronpa 1-2 Reload gives players a ton of variety when it comes to how they want to experience the story. With all of the value you get in this discounted release, there are a few downsides worth mentioning. Both games very much feel like handheld games ported over to a home console. That isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the limited voice acting is jarring when you read pages on pages for the length of an investigation, then experience a fully voiced class trial. Danganronpa 1-2 Reload comes packaged with two of the best titles to release on the PlayStation Vita, and are much more than simple visual novels. Offering a complex narrative and social commentary with a glossy paint job of anime and quirky characters and that ever-lovable Monokuma, the story is at the top of the list when it comes to narrative in a game. Whereas it does become a bit too convoluted, out there, and just misses overstaying its welcome in certain places, the pacing overall, character interaction, and genuine mystery that comes from entering Hope's Peak and Jabberwock Island is unlike anything else. PlaystationFollower gives Danganronpa 1-2 Reload 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Okay then, sweet dreams everyone. Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.